Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers around the world. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and one of the MCs here at Gold Learning. Well, welcome back and welcome if you're joining us for the first time. We're going to be talking to one of our guest speakers here in just a moment, but I want to tell you about an upcoming series that is planned for this summer. That's right, we call it our Gold Learning Day Summer, and we have a fantastic day of learning talking about advancing lactation skills through clinical case studies. Now, so many of you out there have been asking for more and more of these case studies, and we know why, because you really want the opportunity to sit next to someone as they're going through a real life case or a case that has really inspired them to change their practice. And that's what it's all about. So we will be talking about we'll have 3 presenters on our Gold Learning Day. So you can join us now by going over to our Gold Learning website at goldlearning.com to sign up for our Gold Learning Day here, advancing the lactation skills through clinical case studies. Well, welcome to our very special guest here today. Shonte Terhune-Smith is with us, and I'm so grateful for you joining me here today. Welcome, Shonte. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you are going to be talking about something really special here as well, of course, bridging the gap between case studies in the community-based lactation. And we'll talk about that just in a minute, Shonte. But of course, I'd love you to just tell us a little bit about yourself and, what you do and where you are in the world.
Yeah, I'm like you said, I'm Shonte Terhune-Smith. I am here in Flint, Michigan, but I was born and raised in Detroit. I've lived here for almost 18, 19 years.
Oh, wow.
I've been working in the field of lactation for 10 years. I've been at IBCLC for 6 years. And I really enjoy it. I have 4 children. I've been married for 17 years. I keep busy. I'm also a doula, and I partner with other organizations. So the party never stops.
I guess not, definitely not. And I know that you are the owner of YOLO, or You
Yes.
Overcoming Lactation Obstacles. So when I first saw that name, Shonte, I just loved it. I've seen you online, but YOLO is your brand name. And so tell me, are you practicing, like what are the types of things that you're doing, as well as, I know you're an educator, presenter, but are you still practicing as well?
I am. That's like my passion. Like
Aw.
above all the things that I do, I love being hands-on with lactating families.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like right now, YOLO has a grant to provide free lactation services to families. And
Oh my
so
goodness.
yes, so it's home visits or office visits. And then with the clinic, it also comes with an occupational therapist, an MP. So it's like a whole system that we were
Amazing.
able to have funded. So I'm really happy about that.
Well, I know folks listening in are probably just delighted to hear that you're collaborating with others. This has become
Yeah.
something that we've become so passionate about, our voice in lactation as IBCLCs, because for so long we really were siloed, in the field of medicine. And then all of a sudden there's been this blooming of information, and so many other professionals have come alongside us, to really take on the whole family. How have
Mhm.
you found this transition into the world of collaboration and working with a team? What are some of the things that you really have embraced and embodied working with the other professionals in your field?
Yeah, I feel like we've been able to really improve breastfeeding duration rates because by the time you might have a family who might stop breastfeeding, we're connecting them to the other resources. Like we're just following the circle of care. So it's like, I saw you. I suspect there might be a tie. It might be sucking issues. I'm connecting you to OT. We're connecting you to a pediatric dentist. So nobody's slipping through the crack of what is needed. And the parent just feels happy that they are well supported because a lot of times parents are emotional when you get to the house or in an office visit because breastfeeding isn't going as planned. And so just to be able to see the joy in their face to know that so many people care about their journey and are working together is beneficial.
Yeah, well, that sounds wonderful. I know you talk a little bit about, really having that village around families these days. Is that something that you've seen, the clients that you work with, that they have gravitated to really yearning again for the village?
Yes, definitely. And I do believe it's also with the emerging of more birth workers as well.
Mm,
And so really going back to like the roots of birth and lactation. And so how it was a village, and then how, time over the years, how we changed to being more focused in different areas. And so now I just feel like communities are getting back to the fact that we know we need each other from a real basic level. So I definitely believe it's making a difference.
that's fantastic. I love hearing the stories of how those village, when you build a village, of course, people come, but then they really start to understand how, and the importance and the duration, it improves the duration of breastfeeding when you have people around you, which is just amazing. Then we don't feel so alone. And that's so true of
Yes.
us,
Hmm.
working together as teams and so forth and so on, so that we're not isolated as professionals either. So that's wonderful. Let's talk a little bit about the case studies that you're going to be presenting. Case studies, as I mentioned at the beginning of our chat here today, have become so popular. We all sort of gravitate to wanting to have that sort of inside scoop, I call it, learning about each other's journeys, but also what it looks like. I call it the ride along of, of work, because so many times I remember when I was, younger in the field, I just yearned to be on those ride-alongs. I yearned to be alongside people. It wasn't always possible because there wasn't many people in my neighborhood. But do you think that is some of the value that we're getting now from case studies, Shonte? Is it similar for you as well?
Yes, and I teach a course too, and in the course I do a lot of case studies, and I do case
Ah,
studies for them to have as homework, and
mm,
so I have them like walk through it, and I have people individually work through their case studies, and then they can listen to other people and how they might have addressed that case study. And I believe it's like we all learn from each other, because even though we've
right,
all had the same took the same exam and credentialed, sometimes we might get to the solution differently with the tools
right.
that we have. And so I think it's beneficial to glean from each other
Mm.
to better serve families.
Yeah, it is the critical thinking that really changes the trajectory of what we might do next. And like you said, sometimes, even though we might have had similar training, we all work in different parts of the world. This is an
Hmm.
international credential, which is, phenomenal. There aren't many out there that really resonate like similar to this one.
Right.
And so having the opportunity, to come together and sort of look at cases slightly differently, or in this case, we're going to have the Shonte lens on, which is great. But I know that, we went through some of your content today. So I've got a little bit of the inside scoop, but you're actually taking us alongside. And then we're going to do some polls and some feedback as well. So you're looking for some interaction for some folks on this journey as well. How much do you love working with your students and getting that interaction, Shante?
I think it's beneficial, like, for us to be able to talk instead of people always feeling like they're talked to. So then
Right.
that you're an engaged learner and you could just get feedback both ways with each other. And so I just love to have people talk back. I love to feel like people are engaged. I love to have questions because I feel like it can really change the way we approach the work. And so, certain questions, a person might not have thought of something that way. And then their question might be somebody else's question in the room who was shy about asking. So I feel it benefits everybody in a learning situation.
Well, I'm really excited because I can't wait, to learn alongside you. But I just, having that opportunity to sort of learn more from your perspective is going to give me ultimately better insight, just gaining more knowledge. I think, like you said, we learn from each other all the time. So I'm looking forward to this work with you. So thank you so much for joining me here today. We'll have such a good time, when we get together. Don't forget, folks, that you can find all of the presentations that we're talking about today on our Gold Learning website. It is going to be live, so make sure you go onto the website now at goldlearning.com to check out all the details. The time zone that you're in, of course, is going to make a difference, but you can check it out by going to our Gold Learning Day, Advancing Lactation Skills Through Clinical Case Studies. with Shonte Terhune-Smith. Thank you so much, Shonte, for joining me here today.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you to all of you once again for listening in. We'll look forward to seeing you online, of course, and hearing all of your feedback. I hope wherever you are in the world that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye for now, everyone.